Nyinyi mtafanya mkakati gani kama saa hii akina mama wanazaa wanakufa, mtoto anakufa na huyo mwingine anakufa na mwingine ndio atakuwa na kuchagua?
I agree with her that there is very poor provision of medical services. You saw on that video that you just played that everyone in this county goes to Kenyatta, and that is a very sorry state of affairs. Number two, the national government, and this is about negotiating with them and really sitting down with them, must look at the interests of the people who are working for these hospitals, because it is not fair, honestly, that every time they go on strike, we are having people neglected, we are having women having to really suffer because of not getting the services that they ought to get. And number two, Amboi is very concerned about that issue of the service coming to her. We must have the hospitals that are run by the council restored. We must restore sanity in this area, because why should everybody travel to Kenyatta all the way from Ruai, all the way from Umoja? That is not good. And therefore, that issue of devolving services must also apply in the medical field.
My name is Edith Mirigi from the University of Nairobi. My question goes to Mr. Karanja. Having experienced the university life, and you know the problems that the students go through, do you have something to look forward to on your winning?
Yes, I've been a student of University of Nairobi, and I know the challenges that are facing University of Nairobi. But one of the problems there is also the issue of planning. Planning is a macro challenge in this country, and it has to be taken very seriously.
And then my second question goes to Babu Awino. What legacy do you leave to the university students now that you're joining the national politics? Thank you.
To answer the beautiful lady, Edith, about the issue of the legacy at the University of Nairobi. Previously, Kenyans, we know very well, at the University of Nairobi, there was a constitution that runs the students' body called SONU. The constitution only allowed the JAB students, the Joint Admission Board students, to participate in vying for the executive positions in SONU. The constitution never allowed the parallel students, all the self-sponsored students, to vie for these various positions. We fought for this, and the constitution was reviewed. And now the Module 2s, who are 70% of the University of Nairobi students, can enjoy.
I'm Emily Alwaj from Kamukunji, and my question is, if we Kenyans have dealt with the Al-Shabaab, how are you going to deal with the outlawed sects in Nairobi now that you're reaching the electioneering year? We're just almost. Thank you.
There is a direct role of the national government in provision of security, but I have said that the county government must get involved. Therefore, one, we must look where are these sects coming up. Why? In other words, we must diagnose this problem. And when I talk about policy, it's not just policing and catching people. We must look at why are these sects emerging and what are the solutions that we can provide. Number two, and this is something that is never negotiable anywhere in a sane country in this world. When you have law and order, it must be enforced. Therefore, I know we have been lax in enforcement, and therefore, our county must be able to provide and empower. I say again, provide and empower those people who are in charge of enforcement, so that we have proper enforcement, and we also have proper background investigation, so that we are solving a problem in a sustainable manner.
My name is Edwin Ngugi of UDF Nairobi. My question is, governorship is about administration, and how to get the post is political. How are you going to deal with the euphoria that we have seen the presidential candidates whipping the country into?
Now, a young man there by the name of Ngugi has talked about the issue of we are looking for a job called governorship, but it's a political process. Yet, fundamentally, it's one of management and leadership. It's a big challenge because some of us have not been in the political arena, but we feel we have the requisite competence and skills to be able to manage. But since the country's law has provided for that, I think we have no choice than to be able to fight out, and to, hopefully we get the best among the men and women of this country and this county to be able to run good and effective administration of the city.
Guys from Kibish, questions. Okay, I'm Chris Okere from Kibera, and nilikuwa nataka tu waniclarifyie hii jobs yenye wanasema iko, cause mi labda nimeenda shule, nimeenda university, nimekuja niko pale Kibera, naambiwa jobs ziko, naambiwa ni KKV. So which kind of job wanaongea? Ndio nataka nielezewe.
Chris, yes, you have talked about employment. Where are you going to create employment? Now, it is true there is a challenge of employment, but employment, like everything else, is a macro challenge of the country and Nairobi in general. But we must be able to be very prudent managers of the resources of this country. For example, if you look at the last 5 years, the amount of money that has been given to members of parliament as CDF, it is in excess of about 2.5 billion. I want to tell you, go and audit where has that money gone to in all the constituencies in Nairobi. We must hold our leaders to account.
My name is Anthony Kiraithi. I'm from Westlands. Mi swali nataka kuuliza Owino. He has talked so much about the students na wenye ambao wako university and colleges. What about the ones who are not advantaged to go to schools? Kuna wengine wako na talents. What are you doing about it?
Now, Kahiga has talked about, we are talking about university students. What about the rest of the unemployed ones? We must deal with the totality of unemployment of every Kenyan. And that's the challenge of the governor of Nairobi. And one of the things that he has to do with his members of the committee, we must come up with a strategic plan that is going to address specifically the issues that are confronting and the challenges that are confronting the entire population of Nairobi. But we must also work with other governors to ensure that Nairobi does not get a flood of people coming from other counties. In other words, there has to be good cooperation between governors of the various counties to ensure that they also create a conducive environment in other counties to stop rural-urban migration for that matter.
My name is Paul Ogalo. I'm a pastor, and I subscribe to the idea that all of us were made in the image of God. And as I can see around in the social stratification, there is a lot of class issue in our country, the rich and the poor. And so from the aspiring governors, what do you have in mind as a cure for the deepening gap between the rich and the poor today? Because as we look around in the slums and in the up side of the city, you find that there are a lot of exodus. The slums are swelling up because people are now going down to the lowest class in the social cadre. And so I want you to address that. The other question that I would like to follow up very, very fast is that you have talked about the problem of traffic snarl up in the city. Do you think that the cause of the traffic congestion in the city could be related to poor planning in our city? Because I would think that if we will have government offices spread out all over Nairobi, we could not have this idea of when it is 7 in the morning, everybody going to the same direction. When it is 5 in the evening, everybody goes back the same direction, the opposite direction. And this causes a lot of friction as people rush home. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. I'm almost set to say hallelujah. Gentlemen, you want to take it away? Timothy, starting with you.
Pastor Ogalo is concerned about the class issue. And class issue, Pastor, comes in because of disparity of incomes. And therefore, we must look at the people who are jobless and provide those jobs. I know we have been asked by Chris about whether the jobs we are providing are KKV jobs. Personally, I don't prescribe to that aspect that you are providing jobs for people to go and dig, and those people went to college and they are well read. So those two issues, we must be able, first of all, to create jobs that are for the people we are churning out of our colleges, our middle level institutions, and our universities. That is possible. That is possible, and it can be done. And you must remember that the economy that we are trying to catalyze and spur provides those jobs. And we have seen it happen. Timothy,
before you do that, let me go to KK real quick. So
I just wanted to address that one issue of Pastor
about
traffic. Traffic management has been what we have experienced we have done it in a very archaic manner. Why do I say archaic? If you are driving from Mombasa Road, first of all, you know, Jeff, there has to be a policeman on the roundabout, you know, and he's controlling vehicles in that roundabout. He does not know what the other policeman in the next roundabout is doing. Surely, how can you act like that? How? In a situation where we are saying we are looking forward to be a middle class income country? No, 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 that is very archaic. And the system I told you we must install for technology, for surveillance, must also be integrated to do traffic management. The other one, finally, is those roundabouts that you are seeing. You know, there was a project that was had been actually put up and had even gone to the extent of tendering. We need overpasses and underpasses in those roundabouts. You can no longer have roundabouts in a city where you're talking about 70,000 vehicles streaming into Nairobi. No, it's not possible. And even right now, the thicker road that we have created here, Jeff, pouring cars into this city, you are going to see the problem that we are going to have. We must work hard to see that these problems, we anticipate them and we do proper planning. And I repeat, proper planning. We must anticipate this problem in advance and give solutions. That is my take on that.
Great, excellent. KK, Babu, I know you want to respond right away, but we have to take another commercial break. Come back. I know there's plenty more questions from the audience. This is good for this county, guys. Thank you. Let's keep it up. Face the Nation, back in a moment.